is to get our learned views from new members of parliament and very senior members of parliament is critical to the work that must be done in the nation's interest. The issues that you have raised as it relates to land titling and unlocking this kind of potential are issues that are germane to every single Jamaican. So it is not a partisan issue, and that is the spirit in which I hope that we will be able to deliberate in this committee. Let this be the committee that sets the example of what it means to truly cooperate, to truly collaborate in the nation's interest. So let this committee set the standard that we are not JLP or PMP in this committee that relates to economy and production. In this committee, we are all Jamaicans. We are all, allow me to finish my point, Member Jackson. Thank you. We are all Jamaicans with the interest of our fellow citizens at heart. As a member of parliament with inner city communities as well, or developing communities, it certainly is an issue that I believe is worth tackling in this committee. Again, land ownership, for the points that you have raised, is really critical, and I agree with Member Hamilton and yourself that it will truly unlock productions, unlock greater capacity across the country in relation to economy and production. Members, we welcome member. Allow me to welcome Member Morrison.
You have a habit of overlooking my mic,
you spoke for half an hour unfettered, Member Jackson. Member Morrison, welcome to the committee. I just looked and saw the WhatsApp message that you had sent also, that you will be in attendance, but that you would be a little late because you had a pressing constituency matter. So we thank you for joining us. At this time, let me welcome members from Kingsway High and Prep School. It is their career day, and we have 21 young kings and queens present in the house, along with 2 teachers. Could you stand and be acknowledged, please? I see entrepreneurs, I see a police officer, I see a nurse, I see a judge, I see a lawyer, I see an entertainer, I see a sportsman. I'm seeing lots of professions there. Wonderful. It's really good. I'm seeing no politicians there, and I suspect it's because of the behavior of our politicians. I suspect it's because of the behavior of our politicians over the last few weeks why I'm seeing no politician there. But that could be a speaker of the house and not a judge. And is it yes, a female speaker of the house, strong and powerful woman leader. Well done, Madam Speaker of the House. I will let Speaker Holness know. I will let Speaker Holness know that she continues to set a wonderful example for young women across Jamaica, that they have that sense of empowerment about the business, and that they too can play a role in developing our nation, and that you came here today dressed as the Speaker of the House because you've been so inspired. We welcome you all, and we will avail ourselves. Members, there is a request to meet with us after, if you could oblige our young kings and queens and meet with them and take some photos that as per the request. Thank you and welcome.
No.
Member Jackson, then Member Hamilton.
Boy, you're so quick to move from me to another member.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry, I didn't see it, but Member Jackson does have the mic. I'm sorry.
Well, I wouldn't mind Tony because I want to...
All right, if you could... All right, then. Can you turn off, please, and then we can take... Are you yielding to him, or are you continuing?
No, I yield to him.
Very well. Can you turn your mic off, please? Yes, Member Hilton.
Chairman, I see you summarily cut off the discussion. I'll raise it at another point, and this matter will come back up in the House. But let me go back to the matter of the items for discussion. Of some urgency is the matter of the availability of cement in the country at the moment, the implication of which is far-reaching. A motion, a private member motion, is before the House at the moment. It should have been taken yesterday. I'm hoping that it will be taken later today to allow for this to come before the committee for urgent consideration. This is having a destabilizing effect on the construction industry and on a range of other economic activities. And I believe that matter should get some priority in the scheduling of events before the House. Right.
All right. Thank you, member. Member, as there is a private. Right. Yes, I'm just looking at the scope of debate section. So as it relates to your matter, you have indicated that the private member's motion is presently before the full House. So as soon as there is a ruling from the full House on that specific matter, then I'm sure it will be referred to the committee. It will be referred to the committee, and then we can take the discussion there within the parameters of what the House has referred for consideration. Members, just to indicate that in addition to agenda items that we will recommend, there will be matters that will be referred from the House for our consideration and deliberation. So the committee takes no issue, Member Jackson. We will await for it to be referred, as there is a private member motion, Member Hilton, as there is a private member motion before the full House. Members, might I also recommend, so if we are looking at, members had indicated that in terms of the present geopolitical instabilities and rising oil prices and fuel dependency, etc., and the very real consideration for ourselves as Jamaicans, that we look at that matter first. Might I now move to seeking your recommendations as to possible agencies, departments, It does not mean that you are forgettable, Member Jackson. It is a senior moment on my part as well, Member Jackson. We're not as young as we used to be, you know. It has been more than 10 years, sir. Member Jackson, again, your commentary will be taken.
Before I go on to my substantive point, just to mention that, and Ms. Cohen, seasoned parliamentary personnel will know, matters referred from the full House takes priority on the committee's agenda once they come from the full House. Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, my colleague from Western St. Andrew, Member Hilton, raised a procedural issue that you have clearly sought to dismiss.
I'm sorry, Member Jackson, if I may. Again, I have made a ruling on the matter.
No, Mr. Chairman.
One second, Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hilton, Member Hilton has spoken.
Mr. Chairman, I have not made my point as yet.
Member Hilton has spoken on the matter that he has raised, and Member Hilton has indicated that he's moving from the matter and he's going to setting an agenda item.
Mr. Chairman, allow me to make my point.
Member Jackson.
You're wanting to rule on my point before I make it.
No, Member Jackson.
I'm not going to yield to that.
Member Jackson, the committee does not need to descend.
No, why are you descending the committee into that? Just allow me to say what I want to say.
My demeanor is one that is very calm in the matter.
Calm
Member
and
Jackson.
destructive.
No, Member Jackson. Member Jackson, the only person trying to disrupt the meeting at this point is the one who is visibly agitated and shouting. Member Hilton, look at his demeanor. Member Hilton has indicated.
There you go.
Member Hilton has indicated that he's moving beyond the matter.
Allow me to say what I wish to say.
But you're raising a matter.
Allow me to say what I wish to say.
Member Hilton has moved
Mr.
on
Chairman,
from
you're
the
not
matter.
going to suppress what I wish to say in this committee. I have every right, like
speak,
and
member.
every other member in this committee.
Member, speak.
Yes.
Speak to the aid of Member Hilton, who did not request it.
I am referring to the subject raised by Member Hilton, which is a procedural matter. And for the records of this committee, I make reference to the standing orders of this House. Standing Order 68-3, and it reads, in respect of select committees, subject to the provisions of Standing Order number 71, a sessional select committee shall consist of not less than 6 members, including the chairman, none of whom shall be a minister or parliamentary secretary. Not may, shall. The explicit and clear provisions in the Standing Order that governs this committee prohibits the composition as it is. Now, with that said, my concern is if the composition is improper, is in violation of the Standing Order, on what basis are we proceeding? That's my concern. And if we need a judicial ruling on this matter, then one may have to be sought. Because we can't openly violate the rules at one's convenience, as if it's nothing wrong, because it's convenient for us. We are not going to be a party to that.
All right, Member Jackson.
And I'm saying this not only on my behalf, but I'm saying it on behalf of the opposition.
All right, Member Jackson, we have heard you. Again, this matter, as I indicated in my discussions with Member Hilton, when he raised the matter, and I note for the record as well that Member Hilton, having raised the matter, has also indicated that he will move beyond the matter at this point in time. Member Jackson, I have indicated before that it is pointless to rediscuss issues that have previously been determined. I have also indicated, Member Jackson, that every single committee that has been comprised with the full backing and support of the full House of Parliament. This committee was established on the 21st of October, and it has been so comprised. Standing Order 86 reads clearly that any one or more of these standing orders may, after notice or with the leave of the Speaker, be suspended on a motion made by a member at any time. So that matter has already been ventilated, and you are aware, Member Jackson. Member Jackson, in the presence of our young kings and queens here from Kingsway Prep and High School, if it is that we are serious about the business of the country, I have already invited members. When you come here, do not come as PMP, do not come as JLP, come as Jamaicans who are serious about the economy and the level of productivity in the country. So these sort of opposition and government and the sort of the notations that are rooted in tribal positions or in political party positions, let's just move beyond them. The PAAC functions, the Ethics Committee functions, the PAC function, the Infrastructure Development Committee, every other committee, including ones that you sit on, they are functioning, member. So it is pointless for us to go down this pathway that leads back to the very compositions of the committee as they were established. So let's just forget about the grandstanding and the scoring political points and the headlines for media attention and so forth, and let's just move on. I even invited you to look at a matter that you have raised and note the duration, and that it is a matter that the committee ought to consider. So, Member Jackson, let's just move on within that spirit of collaboration and forget the party political one-upmanship. Not for this committee. Leave it for some other committee. Member Morrison? Sorry, suggestions from you as it relates to agenda, possible agenda items? Not a problem. Member Morrison has expressed her disappointment in the discussions raised and by member, and she's just gathering her thoughts. Member Sivrite?
Yeah, certainly given the realities now and the game-changing realities, frankly, globally, I believe artificial intelligence, AI, its impact. I know Cabinet, I believe, had set up a board or committee to deliberate on the issues. We would really appreciate some updates on that front, as it's the most significant game changer in the world's economic history, certainly for the last 30 years. So it's something that we need to have some fulsome and deliberative discussions on, for sure. Also, of course, I know you are keen on the creative industries and its potential. I know Minister Morrison also very key.
And
very
Member
key.
Hamilton as well is
yes,
creative.
I remember Hamilton. And I think it's an underexplored area, frankly, in terms of policy discussions in Parliament and so on. And it will be worthwhile, certainly in the very near future, having some significant discussions on that front too, because it's so much potential, so much opportunity, and I think it can be certainly put forward for significant consideration here within this committee.
Thank you so much, Member Seabright. Member Hamilton?
Just piggybacking on what Minister Seabright just said, I'm thinking that our vertical inclusion of our locals within the tourism and space is also something that we should definitely discuss. And it would suit us well to probably get suggestions from the public as to how it is that we can help them further become more integrated into the tourism sector.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat the first part of your...
The vertical integration of our locals within the tourism industry.
All right, thank you so much. Member Hamilton, just to indicate that on the 17th of June, there will be a Diaspora Day of Empowerment that will see members across the diaspora leaving the Global Jamaica Diaspora Conference to go into the craft market in Montego Bay to give that kind of support and to sort of integrate, as you've indicated, members at the local level of the tourism and the grassroots tourism product as well. So I would, I am in agreement with you, and I'm inviting you to join that delegation as members from across the diaspora. In 2024, we had the Jamaicans living across 18 different countries who came to the Diaspora Conference. The Diaspora Conference will be held in Montego Bay from June 14th to 18th, and certainly we'll see members from across the diaspora, including Friends of Jamaica, coming to discuss real and tangible means of investing in Jamaica. And we have raised the issue of tourism product, and of course providing that sort of support to our practitioners at the grassroots level. And the Montego Bay craft market was in fact selected, so members will be going into the craft market to support local businesses as well. So I would invite you to join us, and again, having regard to the point that you have raised on the matter. All right, members, so far we have noted the following future agenda items. We have looked at the question of production as it relates to flexible work hours, working from home in light of the geopolitical instabilities and rising fuel prices and what it means for Jamaicans. I believe that members have indicated that they would take that as the first agenda item. We have also noted the question of land titling and unlocking the potential that land ownership means for Jamaicans, including revenue for government when you look at the land taxes as well. We have also noted artificial intelligence and it being a game changer, and certainly as it relates to future production, well, present and future production, I think we can all agree, Member Jackson, that the question of AI and technology is well within the remit of this committee. Might I also indicate that Member Wheatley, I believe, has also convened a specific committee to treat with developing an AI policy for Jamaica. And again, this committee could assist those members by inviting views from experts across the country and different sectors that would be affected as well. AI is now part of our knowledge creative economy, so certainly it segues perfectly, Member Seabright, again as it relates to building out a more resilient creative industry policy and what it means. Might I just indicate again, in terms of the non-partisan nature of this committee, that I listened to the presentations of Member Hines and Member Burchell as it relates to the points that they raised. Some of them have been long raised, but still could be acted upon in relation to the creative industry and the sporting industry. And we've always maintained that sport is physical culture as well. So again, the suggestion by Member Severide, it fits perfectly well, including members' discussions raised in this matter as well. And that is the spirit within which I want us to focus on the work of this committee, non-partisan. Where there are good ideas, let us all adopt the principle of the Prime Minister and be the best baby fathers and baby mothers for those good ideas in this committee. We've also looked at the, might I also indicate that there is a green paper. There is a green paper, as it relates, Member Morrison, I know that you worked on that green paper as well, relating to the creative industry. So we could have the benefit of those discussions as well and inviting persons there who can shed more light on it in that regard. Then there is the, I'm sorry, let me just go through the other item raised by Member Hamilton. Then there is the virtual integration within the tourism sector as a means of bolstering productivity as well. And we have, Member Jackson has raised the matter of ATM machines as well. Member, could we, I'm sorry, Ms. Cohen, can we have the benefit? I believe, I certainly recall in 2023, that matter might have come to a former committee. If we could just have the benefit of those notes. And I'm not sure if there's any aspect that Member Jackson might wish to retable in Parliament as well on that matter. Member Campbell.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say that the important issue of agriculture should not be forgotten in the discussion, and I think it should be higher up on the priority or the list of priorities, because agriculture is the main employer of labor in the country. Over 200,000 persons are employed within the sector. The room, the potential for growth is probably greatest within the agricultural sector. We don't tap into the export market at all, for the most part. And you look at the things that we have a competitive advantage in, I think it's a huge opportunity for us, and so I think that should be a priority issue as well.
Thank you, Member. Member, I had noted agriculture and productivity in my notes. I was hoping that one of our members, especially one of our members from a rural parish, would have raised it. So thank you for raising it. And I'll share this with you. Throughout our travels across the diaspora, as a government, we continue to promote and recommend agriculture as a primary form of investment in Jamaica. So at the Diaspora Conference, Minister Floyd Green will in fact be giving a presentation on agriculture and requesting from members across the diaspora to invest in agriculture. You know, when we think of food security and the use of technology, again, linked with agriculture, it is certainly an area that we can have, well, that we can see even further growth. And the agenda from Minister Green and his team is one that suggests exactly what you have raised. The need across Canada, Europe, the US, and other parts of the world for orchard crops coming out of Jamaica, such as mangoes, for example. You would have seen, exactly. So they want that. It's the mangoes and the market for it. It's the ginger and the turmeric. So again, across the diaspora, there's a growing need. The breadfruit as well. You know, Member Hamilton, one member in Edmonton, Canada, Member Campbell, he said, Minister, just to make you know we want more mango in Canada. He said that he got a shipment of mangoes 3 years ago. And what he did was he sliced them up and bagged them up, and he has them frozen. So whenever he wants to do it, and he has a business as well, so whenever he's doing like a mango sorbet or mango whatever, shake or something, but he has frozen mangoes for 3 years. So again, it shows the longevity of the crop and what it means for agriculture, trade, and export as well. So I'm going to invite you as well. Come to the Diaspora Conference, sir. It's $180 for registration, aitix.app, or you can just type on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Conference. But the discussions will be had, fruitful discussions, as well as members from across the diaspora with investment capital coming. And you could make your own contacts for your own farmers as well. I'd recommend it. I'm sorry, Member Morrison has the floor. Thank you, Member Campbell.
Thank you, Chair.
This position is so, different from others. Yes?
Thank you, Chair. I'm looking at the terms of reference, point C, receiving submissions from citizens and organizing meetings between citizens and community groups, etc. This is important to me because I do believe in the collaborative approach, having strong partnerships, listening to what the people have to say, because many times when we frame policies and have directives, it's never useful when we don't have strong input from our, what many would refer to as our regular and ordinary Jamaican citizens. As a rural MP, I want to see the rural issues being featured very prominently in this meeting. Of course, we spoke of the creative industries, culture, and we know that the rural constituencies, they have a wealth of knowledge and potential also when we are discussing physical development, infrastructure, constituencies such as mine, Northeastern St. Catherine. We will be watching this one very closely because it is no secret, right, that we continue to agitate, right, for benefits within the constituency. But I think the main point that I want to make, Chair, is that when it comes to the policy initiatives, when it comes to the decisions, the legislative proposals, we do not want to have dissonance between what we want to achieve and what the legislative process is saying. Thanks.
Thank you so much for those comments, Member Morrison. Guided. Member Williams?
Yeah, I just wanted to, in reference to Member Campbell's suggestion earlier in relation to agriculture, you know, it jumps at me the linkages and the connection, because Member Hamilton referred to vertical integration of locals within the tourist industry.
Yes.
And of course, we know that the tourism industry, you know, absorbs and uses it's everything, but it is tied in with agriculture, you know, as to, it would be good, you know, to see to what extent and get reports and the analysis and as to what kind of contribution or to what extent the tourism industry is absorbing our local production. So it goes to show how the areas overlap.
Yes.
Because one could look at land titling. If you free up land, then you have more agricultural production, more economic growth. So it jumps at me.
All right, thank you so much, Member Williams. Again, when we look at Standing Order 73C, it sets out clearly that we are empowered to examine policy documents and statements from ministers and government agencies with which have a bearing on the subject matters for our discussions, examining legislative proposals which may have an effect on a subject matter in terms of reference, and making recommendations to Cabinet through the Legislative Committee, receiving submissions, as noted by Member Morrison, from citizens and organizing meetings between citizens, community groups, sectoral organizations, members of parliament, and representatives of governments and agencies to facilitate exchange of views on the operations of the government and their effect on communities, including rural communities and groups in the society, and organizing meetings with relevant organizations in order to seek such information on their activities as the public interest may demand. That said, I am mindful of the time. Member Hilton, I will go to you. I'm mindful of the time. I will take Member Hilton, and if there are no further comments, then we can agree to the agenda items going forward and set a meeting date 4 weeks from today. Yes, Member Hilton.
Thank you, Chair. Just before you close off on identifying the subject matters for which the committee may have subsequent meetings, I think we shouldn't close without looking at the whole issue of the BPO, the business process outsourcing sector. It is, and has been for a while, a very dynamic area of employment. We know of the challenges it faces currently, and I believe, but I think the possibilities are still there. We need to know how we are pivoting in light of the challenges posed to it by AI and other challenges that they may have, because how we transition that sector will have a lot to do and to say about how the current employees of that sector fare in the immediate period ahead. So I think the BPO sector and its challenges, I think, is something that recommends itself for us to look at.
Thank you, Member Hilton. I am in agreement, and I am looking at the expressions of other members in the committee. I note their agreement as well. The BPO sector employs more than 40,000 Jamaicans. At the last check, there are some 80 companies operating as BPOs throughout the country. Again, lots of young people are employed within the sector. As we position Jamaica strategically for further, in terms of navigation and special economic zones and so forth, as a transshipment hub, logistics. Again, I know you're big on logistics, Member Hilton. See, I do listen when you speak in Parliament. I know you're big on logistics as well. Certainly, the sort of industries that rely on this sort of tech that are presented by BPO sector, very important for productivity of the country, even as we go forward. The government has been building out far more spaces, again, in terms of the special economic zones and so forth as well. So the sector could benefit from our discussions and getting some experts here as well. That said, members, I want to thank you for your attendance today. I believe we've had full... I did indicate if there were no more members.
But you were coming back, you mentioned, having covered the subjects that are going to be dealt with, the ordering of them. Because I want to suggest the subject I raised specifically of the ATM machines, for which the BOJ has made submissions to this committee before. It is not new, the subject, and with BOJ, but we need an update. So that input by them doesn't need a complete session. I believe within an hour or so would be enough time to get an update from the BOJ and the status of, one, the coverage, the performance in terms of the guidelines that they had established, the downtime for the machine, how long they can be out of working and obliged to be up again, how long for them to be out of cash and the replenishment, and all those provisions to get an update. The reason being, Chairman, since then, things have gotten worse. And if we don't keep monitoring it to get the BOJ involved, thankfully out of that motion then, BOJ has come into the picture and engaged the banking sector in regards to the ATM machines. And, you know, people need cash, right? So all I'm suggesting that as we schedule for the next meetings, if we can make that be part of the first meeting for them, and it's a month from now, so enough time for us to give them notice, because they need to prepare the report, etc. And in the meantime, I also would suggest that the committee, Ms. Cohen, provide copies of the submission from the BOJ so that the new members can be so guided. The composition of the committee is different now, so the members who were not on the committee before would not be aware of what those stipulations were by the BOJ. So I'm just suggesting that as we go along, we do that in that order. So whatever the other subject, it be conjoined with that review update.
All right, just to indicate, Member Jackson, I believe you might have been in discussions with another member at the point and did not hear when I indicated...
Maybe.
And did not hear when I indicated to Ms. Cohen that perhaps since the committee would have been comprised differently, I know that there were some points you raised in about maybe 2023, thereabouts, if we could have the benefit of those notes.
Sure,
so I've already indicated that to Ms. Cohen. However, I am mindful of the fact that there were committee members who indicated that given the real challenge of rising oil prices, geopolitical instability, and what it means for the productive sector generally, that the first agenda item would be looking at flexible work hours, work from homes, and framing that policy. I know that, again, that is something the government has been looking at. There are disagreements in relation to how it could work, views of the manufacturing sector, but I listen to my constituents as well, and they have indicated that with mind you, the government has indicated that it has put measures in place to keep oil prices down for the moment. However, as war continues, let me rephrase it, as geopolitical instability continues to loom, we have to look at the real considerations that will affect ordinary Jamaicans. So members have indicated that the first topic that they believe is pressing would be looking at flexible work hours and work from home, because that's a very real concern right now.
Mr. Chairman, I did not get that the committee decided that you could not do both.
But again, given the demands of such a deliberation,
well, put it to the committee.
I'll put it to the committee. I'll put it to the committee.
Just for us to do both.
I'll put it to the committee members. Do we proceed with flexible work hours, work from home, this as relates to productivity, considering the rising oil prices and geopolitical instability, or do we look at another matter?
No, that's also the question I put.
Or do we look at the banking matter?
I was requesting that at the first meeting, the one you proposed be conjoined with having an update by the BOJ.
Or can a matter...
So because it's a short update, but important.
I'm sorry, I'll put it to them.
Yeah.
Or
you were phrasing the question.
Or do we have a conjoined... Member Campbell. I find your disposition this morning to be quite amiable. Might I recommend that the member to your immediate left adopt a similar approach in the spirit of collaboration on this committee? As well as, and I have to say to Member Hilton as well, Member Hilton has shown no opposition to the chairmanship of this meeting. As a senior and well-respected politician. Thank you, Member Hilton. I expect better from Mr. Portmore. Members, or do we conjoin issues which might... Sorry, Member Hamilton. Sorry, Member Williams and Hamilton.
No, you can go. I'll yield to...
No, it's just that your mic is on first.
Yes.
All right, so just switch the mic.
I suggest we take the topic as being proposed, the geopolitical issues and the pressing matter of flexible work arrangements. What I think we could do is to, since we are new to the committee in terms of the banking, the issue of the banking matter and the ATMs, we could be furnished, Mr. Chair, with the relevant documentation, and I would think we should concentrate on the flex, because it is very involved. And I think we should concentrate on it, then apprise ourselves of the banking matter, the issue, apprise ourselves, inform ourselves properly, and then we can tackle it. That's my position.
All right, I have noted your position, Member. Thank you for that. Member Hamilton?
Chair, that's pretty much what I was going to say, because if we have information already, I believe it would make sense for us to apprise ourselves. It is an issue that everybody here has a challenge with. It affects my constituency for sure. But I wouldn't want to conjoin it with another matter. I would really love to have that matter dealt with on its own, because it will take some time, Member Jackson. I definitely want, I don't want it to be like a cursory thing. So I would suggest that we get the documentation from what was being discussed before. We apprise ourselves, and then we set a date, particularly for this banking issue.
Thank you so much, Member Hamilton.
Strictly banking.
Member Hilton.
Chair, if the matter of the geopolitical instability is as urgent as we all believe it is, then I believe if we're setting it as a priority matter for the next meeting, before we rise, we should give some indication as to how we're preparing for that meeting.
We will.
Okay.
Yes, we will, Member Hilton. Okay, so members, having regard to the discussions had, then we have determined the subject matter of our first meeting. Might I then ask members to recommend whether ministries, departments, agencies, organizations, that you would wish to be present as we discuss this matter. Certainly, yes, member.
Yeah, I would think the Ministry of, it eludes me just now, Ministry of Efficiency, Digitization, that ministry headed by Ambassador Arjun Marks would be a good ministry to invite to address that issue. Also, the Ministry of Labor, representative from the Department of Labor in the ministry. I think I can think of CTD, Gillian Corodos, those persons, and the PIOJ. So those jump at me. And the Ministry of Public Service, since they are the ones who have issued the guidelines in relation, and they are spearheading the flexible work arrangements. As you know, it has been implemented in the public sector.
Right.
So that and it is governed by the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. They are the ones who have provided the guidelines and the piloting. So it would be good to have those.
Right. Thank you for that. Might I also recommend the Small Business Association of Jamaica as well as the manufacturing, Member Hamilton, Member Morrison, the manufacturing industry. They're called the, Member Severett, remind me of the full name. The Jamaica Manufacturing. Yes.
And it would be good as well.
Right, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association as well.
Why we don't want to overwhelm ourselves, but it would be good also to have a representative from the unions, either the JCTU, the Joint Confederation of Trade Unions.
Very good suggestion.
One of those, could appear.
Very good suggestion.
And Capri, Chair. I think Capri would be a good fit.
Yes. Very well. Thank you. So we will extend the invitations to those organizations, those groups, and and of course we will invite the public as well to send their views on the matter. And just by way of indication for those who might be listening, the public can send emails to Parliament as well as they can also attend the hearings and sit in the gallery and benefit from the discussions. So civil groups would also be invited in that regard. Members, if there are no other business, might I ask a member to move for the adjournment?
Move.
I'm sorry, could you repeat for the benefit of the...
So move.
All right. All right, Member Severett has moved for the adjournment of the matter, and Member Hamilton has seconded. So that said, we now move for the next meeting, which is set for... The meeting is next meeting is set for Thursday, the 12th of June, 2026. Thursday, the 12th of June, 2026. I'm sorry, Thursday the 11th. Thursday the 11th. Why a Thursday? Wednesday. Oh, because we had... very well. That Wednesday, no, okay. Remember, we were mindful of the fact that some Wednesdays the PAAC meet. So we're now advised that the Wednesday is in fact free. So Wednesday the 10th at 10 o'clock. Wednesday the 10th at 10 a.m. will be our first meeting. And Ms. Cohen will send the invitations out to the relevant departments, agencies, individuals that you have mentioned. And we will take them on that day to add to the discussions. I thank you so much and wish for you all a pleasant day. How do I turn?
Motorists, as Minister of Justice, I appeal to you, obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
When the storm rages and the world feels shaken, remember, our strength lies in unity. It's in coming together, sharing hope, and standing shoulder to shoulder that we find resilience. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement builds a brighter tomorrow. We are stronger as one. Our courage, compassion, and hope will light the way forward. Together we rise. Together we rebuild, because hope is never lost when we stand united, because we are stronger together.